Good morning, students of class 7. I'm going to continue with the chapter A Spark Neglected Burns the House. So, in my last class, I had explained how Ivan's daughter and Gabriel's mother had a quarrel, and in that process, even the family members started joining them. And now the situation went from bad to worse. Ivan and his son rushed in to join the women of the Cherbakov family. Ivan was too strong, for he scattered all of them, pulling some hair out of Gabriel's beard. So now what happened was Ivan and his son also rushed in to join the women of the Cherbakov family. And Ivan was so strong that he scattered everybody, and he even pulled some hair out of Gabriel's beard. Their neighbors, who came to see what the matter was, separated them with great difficulty. So the neighbors also intervened, and they wanted to see what the matter was. They came and separated them with great difficulty. So the two families went on from quarrel to having a physical fight. So the neighbors came and separated them with great difficulty. This is how the quarrel began. Gabriel wrapped the torn hair into a piece of paper, went to the district court to seek justice. I didn't grow my beard, he said, for pock-marked Ivan to pull it out. Therefore, the dispute grew. So what happened now was Gabriel went to the district court wrapping the torn hair in a piece of paper, and he said that I didn't grow my beard so that Ivan could pull it out. So now the dispute started growing more and more because Gabriel went to the district court seeking for justice. The old man who lay on the top of the oven tried to bring about reconciliation, but they did not listen. So the old man, now who was sick, who was an asthma patient, he wanted to bring about reconciliation, the two families into a peaceful agreement, but they did not listen. He said, "It's a stupid thing you are after, children, picking quarrels about such a paltry matter." So the old man said, like, it's a very stupid thing to fight over such nonsense things, such a small matter. Just think. So he told the children to just think about it because they were fighting over such a small matter, and that was something very shameful. So the old man tried to make the children understand that it's not good to fight. The whole thing began about an egg. So the whole dispute, the whole quarrel started just because of that one egg which was there in Gabriel's yard. So just because of that, the whole dispute started. The children may have taken it. Well, what matter? What's the value of one egg? So the children may have taken the egg, and moreover, what's the value of one egg? God sends enough for all. So God gives enough to every one of us. So what's the big thing if one egg is not there? What's so important here? That's just one egg. But the members of the family ignored to the advice of the old man. But they did not listen to the old man. They just kept on doing whatever they felt like doing. The old man's advice went in vain. They did not listen. They thought that his words were mere senseless dotage. So the family members thought that this man is just speaking and we don't need to listen to him because it was all senseless. Whatever he was speaking was all senseless. Ivan would not make himself before his neighbor. He also went to the court. So now Ivan was also not less. He also went to the court just like Gabriel. They were tried by the Justice of Peace and District Court. As the court proceedings were taking place, the coupling pin of Gabriel's car went missing. So then what happened was, when the court proceedings were taking place, the coupling pin of Gabriel's car went missing. So that also went missing at the same time. The women folk of his house accused Ivan's son of stealing it. So they again went to the law to resolve the matter. So now the women folk, they accused Ivan's son of stealing that coupling pin. So now again they went to law to resolve the matter. So for such trivial things, they kept on going to the court. Both the families kept on going to the court of law to ask for justice. At home, not a day passed without a quarrel or a fight. So even at home, not a day passed without quarreling, without fighting. The children too abused one another, having learnt it from elders. So even now, even the children started having a quarrel, having a fight, because they had seen the elders doing it. So they also learn from the elders, because children, they imitate whatever the elders do. So now even they started having a quarrel and dispute and fight. And when the women happened to meet by the riverside, where they went to rinse the clothes, their arms didn't ring as much as their tongues nagged. So the women folk, when they went to the riverside to just wring their clothes, they didn't wring the clothes much, but they, instead what they did was their tongues nagged. All the time they kept on moving their mouth and their tongues, and they started fighting all the time. Initially, the peasants insulted one another, but life became harder with every passing day. So in the beginning, they only insulted one another, but life became harder with every passing day. Ivan and Gabriel kept suing each other at the village assembly, district court, before the court of the peace, till the judges were fed up with them. So what happened? Ivan and Gabriel, one day they went to the village assembly, the next day to district court, and before the justice of the peace, and the judges were fed up of them. All this went on for 6 years. Only the old man lying on the top of the oven kept telling them, "Children, what are you doing? Stop all this paying back. Keep to your work and don't bear malice." But none paid heed to his advice. So what happened was, now the matters went from bad to worse, and the old man kept on telling them, "Children, what are you doing? You please don't do all these things. You just mind your own business and don't have hatred for one another." But nobody listened to that old man. In the 7th year, at a wedding, Ivan's daughter-in-law insulted Gabriel. So that continued for 6 years, and in the 7th year, at a wedding, Ivan's daughter-in-law insulted Gabriel, accusing him of horse stealing. So now the matter went to a horse. So now Ivan's daughter-in-law accused Gabriel that he had stolen a horse. Gabriel was tipsy and unable to control his rage, gave the woman such a blow that she was bedridden for a week. So now Gabriel got really furious. He lost his temper and then gave the woman such a blow that she was bedridden for a week. So this is how Gabriel physically assaulted that woman, that daughter-in-law of Ivan. She was pregnant at that time. Ivan was delighted and he went to the magistrate for lodging a complaint. So Ivan's daughter-in-law was pregnant at that time, and that is the time when Gabriel had punched her and she was bedridden for a week. So now Ivan went to the magistrate for lodging a complaint. "Now I'll get rid of my neighbor. He won't escape imprisonment or exile to Serbia." So now Ivan went to the magistrate and said, "Now I'll get rid of my neighbor and he won't escape imprisonment or exile to Serbia." But things didn't go as he had expected. The magistrate dismissed the case as the woman showed no signs of injury on being examined. But the magistrate dismissed the case because on being examined, Ivan's daughter-in-law had no physical injuries. Ivan then went to the justice of the peace, but the case was referred to the district court. So after that he went to the Justice of Peace, but then the case was referred to the district court. Ivan treated the clerk and the elder of the district court to a gallon of liquor and had Gabriel condemned to be flogged. Now what happened was, after that he went to the district court, and there Ivan gave the clerk, elder of the district court, gallon of liquor and had Gabriel condemned to be flogged, to be punished. Both Ivan and Gabriel heard the sentence being read. Ivan looked at Gabriel's face to see how he would react. So now Ivan and Gabriel heard the sentence being read out. And Ivan just looked at Gabriel's face to see how he would react. Gabriel's face had turned pale. So Gabriel had become completely pale. Ivan followed him and overheard Gabriel say, "Very well, he will have my back flogged. That will make it burn. But something of his may burn worse than that." So then Ivan followed Gabriel and overheard Gabriel say, "Okay, no problem. He will only have my back flogged. That will make it burn. But something of his may burn worse than that." On hearing this, Ivan went back to the court and complained that Gabriel had threatened to burn down his house. So after hearing that, Ivan again went to the court and complained that Gabriel had threatened to burn down his house. When asked, Gabriel said he hadn't said anything like that. But when Gabriel was asked, he denied having said anything of that sort. As Ivan returned home, his heart grew heavy as he thought about Gabriel. Then he saw his aged father cough and sit up. So when Ivan went back home, his heart became very, very heavy as he thought about Gabriel. Then he saw his old father coughing and sitting up. "Well, has he been condemned?" he asked. "Yes, to 20 strokes with the rods," Ivan answered. So the old man said, "Has he been condemned? Has anything been done to him? Has he been punished?" Then to this Ivan said, "Yes, to 20 strokes with the rods." Ivan answered, "Yes, he got 20 strokes with the rods." The old man shook his head. "A bad business," said the old man. "You are doing wrong, Ivan. A bad business," he said. So to this the father was very disappointed and he said, "It's a bad business, Ivan. You should not have done that to him." "Why? Think of the harm Gabriel has done," said Ivan. Then he told his father, "Why? Why is it wrong to do that? Think of the harm that Gabriel has done. He nearly killed my wife and now he's threatening to burn us up. He nearly killed my wife and now he's threatening to burn all of us up. Should I be thankful to him?" The old man coughed, cleared his throat and started again. So the old man coughed, just cleared his throat a little bit and started again. "You think Christ taught us wrong? What fine fellows your sons have grown. You might live and get on well. But now your means are lessening. And why? All because of this folly, because of your pride." So now the old father started telling Ivan, "See, Christ has not taught us anything wrong. Your sons are fine fellows. You might live and go on well. But now see, your money, your means are lessening. It's becoming less. And why? Why do you think it's happening? Because of this folly, because of this mistake, and because of your pride. Because you're too proud." There was a lot of work within a farmstead to do. Instead of talking to the women, he went out to the threshing floor and then to the barn. So what happened was, now there was a lot of work in the farm to do. So instead of talking to the women, he went to the threshing floor and then to the barn. So this is what Ivan did. He did not listen to anybody, he did not talk to anybody. Instead, he went to the farm in order to do his work. Farmstead, farm and its buildings. in order to do his work. So now what happened? By the time he had neatened the place, the sun had set and his sons returned from the field. So by the time he had made the place neat and tidy, the sun had already set and his sons returned from the field. There was a light inside. Ivan's daughter-in-law was spinning. His wife was making the dinner ready. So what happened was, there was light inside. Ivan's daughter-in-law was spinning. His wife was making the dinner ready. His eldest son was making straps of bark shoes. The second son sat close to the table with a book, and Taras was getting ready to pasture the horses at night. So what happened was, now they were busy with their daily chores. Somebody was doing this, somebody was doing that. The eldest son was making straps, the second son sitting close to a table with a book, and Taras was getting ready to pasture the horses at night. Ivan went down the steps following Taras, helped him mount the foal, and stood listening while he rode down with other lads. Ivan waited till their sounds couldn't be heard anymore. So Ivan also helped Taras in doing his work, and he stood listening while he rode down with the other fellows. So Ivan waited till the sounds could be heard no more. So he waited till the time they went from there. He remembered what Gabriel had said at the district court, and the thought got so fixed within his mind that he went straight to the street and round the corner. So he had still not forgotten what Gabriel had said. So what he did was, he just went straight to the street and round the corner. On reaching the corner, he rounded the fence and suddenly saw something move on the opposite corner. So on reaching the corner, he just went round the fence and saw something move on the opposite corner. Ivan stopped, stood quietly and looked in that direction. So now when he saw something moving, he just stopped and he just looked in that direction. He looked for a while but could see no one. He had hardly stopped when he saw something flare up brightly at the same place. So he just went and checked if anybody is there, but he couldn't find anybody. So he had hardly stopped and he saw something burning brightly at the same place. He clearly saw a man wearing a cap on his head, crouching down with his back towards him. So he saw a man who was wearing a cap on his head, crouching down, and the back was towards him. Lighting a straw bunch which he held in his hand, straining every nerve, Ivan approached with great steps. So with all his might, Ivan went to that place with great steps. Now he just wanted to reach there as soon as possible to see what the matter was. So what exactly was happening, Ivan had no idea. But he just saw some flare, some light, some fire there. And Ivan wanted to reach that place as soon as possible to find out what exactly was happening. So what exactly was happening, I will discuss that with you in my next class.